Heyo, Ben here, and welcome back to my election prediction. Apologies for being late, and I'm going to already apologize for being very unprofessional because I'm eating while I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm sorry this was late. I was moving again. And you know what? I meant to have that blank as well, because Virginia is technically a swing state, battleground state, even though Tim Kaine is from here, because I'm in Virginia. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Trump has had some really good weeks in a row. I'll be the first one to say that. And Clinton has technically had some bad ones. Number one, she stayed at home for an entire weekend, so there's that. For health reasons, supposedly, or whatever. I don't know. And quite honestly, I can see the election starting to swing back in his favor, especially if you look at Ipsos polling. Ignore their national poll. Look at their state polls. Sure, they have small sample sizes, but they're relevant in some cases. Because some of them may be noise, and I'll explain that when I get to one of them that I definitely think is noise. But they're definitely going to show trend lines of where a state is moving. Starting with Oregon. And we're going to start with Oregon. Again, if the college towns not college towns, but I think it's only a lean blue state. Again, I definitely think Oregon is starting to move into that. I don't know where Oregon is. It's kind of like a blue leaning swing state, but in most years, I wouldn't pay attention. Like I said, most years I wouldn't even pay attention to it. I'd just say likely blue, and be done with it. This year, I think there's reason to believe it's going to be closer than it was last time out. Let's see, Nevada has been moving towards Trump ever since, for a while, and it's one of Hillary's worst states, and I can definitely see it, especially if Trump continues to have good weeks. I could see him winning Nevada. Utah, likely Trump. There's the possibility of Johnson winning it, which in my opinion is higher than Clinton winning Utah. Arizona's a lean Trump. Colorado in the Ipsos polling was actually relatively close, which surprised me. but I'm going to put it likely blue, just like New Mexico is going to be likely blue. Minnesota, again, it's likely blue. But again, it's been polling actually relatively close, which kind of surprises me a little bit. Michigan, leaning blue, though the Ipsos polling, which is, by the way, the company that Reuters uses, did have Trump up by 1 in Michigan. But we'll see how that actually works out. I think Ohio is definitely moving back towards Trump. I think it'll lean Trump in the election. Kentucky was a weird one in the Ipsos poll because it showed it within reach of Hillary, but with her, the way she's, you know, spoken out against with the way she's been outspoken against coal, while somewhat true that coal is kind of on its way out in many respects, I hate saying that. Don't tell coal miners that, ever. So I don't think she's actually going to win Kentucky. I don't think she's going to come close in Kentucky. Plus, Rand Paul is from there, and Rand Paul is endorsing Trump, begrudgingly perhaps, but he's upholding his pledge. So, and of course that's something Kentucky likes, is when you hold your word. Wisconsin, the Ipsos poll had him up by 3, so I'm moving it. I'm going to call it a true toss-up, but I'm going to go with past behavior and lean it blue instead of likely, which I believe I had it last week. Don't remember. I think I was going to lead Trump. We're just going to go ahead and give him this congressional district. I want to likely it, not lean it. I want to put it as likely instead of solid or lean. There we go. But yeah, Missouri, we're going to put it as likely Trump. Same with Mississippi. That's just because of local dynamics, as well as Missouri gets pulled by Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas in one direction, and also Illinois in the other direction. Georgia leans Trump, so does North Carolina. South Carolina, I'm still going to consider likely Trump, simply because there was that one really weird poll that only had him up by 2. But I think it's just statistical noise and very much an outlier. Florida is once again proving to be a true toss-up this year, but I think it's going to lean Trump in this year. But yeah, the reason why I think it's going to lean Trump is because the Hispanic population over there is primarily Cuban, and they are not huge fans of communism, or they really don't like left-wing politics. Which is why it was actually really close, both in 2008 and 2012. And we'll see how it actually goes, and see as we get closer to debate time and stuff like that. Virginia, you know, honestly, there are two areas that really put Virginia over the top when it comes to going Dem. Tends to go Dem because of Northern Virginia, as in really just the DC area, and it also goes blue because of Hampton Roads, Newport News. I can't remember if Norfolk goes blue. I think Norfolk goes blue. Yeah, Norfolk, that area. But surprisingly, in this area, I zoom in on it, but basically think I've actually seen a surprising amount of Trump support over there, which is very weird. So, but we're going to go with most recent behavior, which is going to put this in the lean Clinton column. Go New Jersey is likely. Sorry about the text messages. Pennsylvania, I'm still going to put it in Clinton's column, is a leaner. Connecticut is also a leaner, which is very strange. Whoop. because polling there has still been extremely close, and yeah, it's just strange. Now here's where we get interesting. New Hampshire and Maine. And New Hampshire, the Ipsos poll, even though it had a very small sample size of like 200 likely voters, it showed Trump up by 14. Like I said, I really do think that's noise. I think it's a lot closer than that. But that said, I think we can safely lean this to Trump, which means that the poll showing that Trump leading in Maine by 1 means that we can lean the 1 congressional district to Trump, because there's no way he leads in Maine without winning that entire district. And we can lean that one to Clinton. And that actually shows Trump winning by a very narrow 270 to 268. And could I see this going the other way, especially if Clinton picks up that... if Clinton wins New Hampshire or picks up the rest of it, this could go a lot of different directions with how close this is. But this really does show just how surprising it is. But this is where I think the race stands today, and where I think the trend lines will lead the race to go. Is there a chance Pennsylvania goes red? Same chance that North Carolina, Florida, Ohio go blue, as well as Arizona, Nevada, and all these other states that I have leaning, except for Georgia. Why did I put it as a lean? For some reason I meant to put it as likely. But yeah, and you can see that really it just, as things go, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing the election today. Basically, my methodology is to look at polls and to look at trend lines, and I also factor in something known as the Shy-Tory effect. If there's if there's an unpopular ideology, some of its support is understated, or not unpopular, but cast as unpopular, even if it's like a major party. Hence, Shy-Tory effect. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.